Welcome everybody to the driver interviews on the GFI Racing League podcast, where we talk to some of our winners from the week. We've got two separate winners to talk to today, the GT3 winner and the ARCA race winner. So hope y'all enjoy the episode. Let's get right into it with the GT3 race winner. All right, we're now joined by Tyler Carson. He drives the number 34 for Ascend. He's the GT3 winner for this race. This is his fourth win in the series. He led the whole race, all 24 laps. He was the fastest car on track. His fastest lap time was 1:25.66. The person that was closest to that was still a second off, and anyone behind that was just more off. Where do you think you were finding that extra second or two that no one else could find?
There's a lot. It was just practice throughout the week, testing the boundaries. There's a lot of corners that you can take pretty radically on that track. So I know I watched a bunch of people's footage after the race, and I saw there was quite a few people not using the whole track. So I'm pretty sure that's where most of my time came from there.
You also mentioned you were doing some tire saving. In what ways were you doing that?
So throughout the race, after first couple laps when I built up the lead, coming into turns, I was just getting all my braking done before turning, not putting any excessive gas down through the turns, stuff like that. Just trying to be as nice to the tires as possible.
So how were you able to do that but still maintain an average lap time of 1:29.177, better than anyone else in the race?
I honestly don't know. I was hyper focused. I've done a lot of practice this week, so car felt great throughout the race. I wasn't having to push super hard. I just had very good lines, and I was extremely consistent today.
Well, you did a wonderful job. I think we're about to be joined by your brother, so can't wait for that. All right, we're now joined by Cody as well, driver of the number 94 for Ascend. Uh, Tyler's brother, obviously. And I just got some questions I thought the both of y'all could kind of answer together. So just whoever wants to pitch in first, y'all work that out amongst yourselves. But this is week 4 of a Carson winning the GT3 races. Is there anything that worries you for next week, or are you confident this streak will continue?
Cody, you want to go ahead?
No, you can go ahead since you've been the dominant one on the street.
For me, just having to pick the new car, which I mean, I'm not crazy worried about that. I've already had a win with a non-legacy car. I don't know if we actually set that in stone of banning those cars, but I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah, I guess we'll
No,
have to see how it progresses in that aspect.
yeah, I'm not really super worried about it either because I'm probably just going to run the Mercedes either way, whether or not we have 2 or 3 more people running it to begin with.
Right.
Isn't really going to be, a huge deal to me because I didn't really come into this expecting to fight for wins to begin with because I know Tyler's quicker than me in on a lap, and pretty much over the long run, he's got a little bit more experience than I do in these higher powered sports cars and stuff like that. But I think just having a little bit more experience specifically with the Mercedes platform, I think is going to be an advantage for me versus all these people who are going to probably be picking it up over the next couple weeks.
Fair enough. And if people don't want to see y'all keep winning, what do they need to do? Is it practice? Is it total seat time? Is it the car? What is holding others back from stopping this brother domination?
It's 100% practice, and there's a ton of time to be found as long as you put in the time practicing the tracks, picking the car that's going to suit you. I mean, Cliff picked, what was it this week? The Corvette, which historically I've tested that at every track, and it's never even been close on pace. So learning what you need to pick, learning what's best for the track.
Got anything on that,
Yeah,
Cody?
yeah, I think the car and track being a good match is a big thing that I think a lot of people aren't necessarily taking into account too much. That um, there is going to be some performance difference between front and mid engine and rear engine cars, and I think we saw that very much come into play at Mosport, where the front engine car of the Mercedes, and I think I mentioned this last week, it really struggled to get power down, especially out of turn 2, which really could kind of kill your lap time. And there wasn't a lot of time to be made back up because everything there is high speed, flowing up, down, that kind of deal there. But going from that to a course where maybe you get a little bit more advantage from having the weight in the rear, or maybe even the weight in the front, like the last couple of weeks where we were at Lime Rock and then Indianapolis, where you can really find a lot of time by having a pointy rear, or not pointy rear end, pointy front end, and getting the car rotated early into the corner. You get a lot of extra time that way versus just kind of powering down on the rear end.
Okay. I guess I got a question that y'all can separately kind of answer, but so will y'all be changing cars throughout the season, or are you gonna kind of stick with the Mercedes AMG, or?
I mean, I've been switching cars pretty much every race. I've used the Mercedes twice, but other than that, it's been a different car every race.
All
Cody
right.
can attest to this, me making him make me a new livery every race.
Yeah, I've made him four different liveries for all three of the Ferraris and then the Legacy Mercedes, and I'm not making any more. I'll put it that way.
Fair enough.
But I think I'll probably continue to run the Mercedes, just kind of like I said before. It's the platform I've got the most experience on. I'm comfortable with it. I don't really want to take a ton of time to learn a new car, and if it's a disadvantage at a certain track, so be it. I'll kind of make do with it and just kind of see where the cards fall.
I believe this is my last question. I'll get y'all out of here, but does it ever put y'all in a tough spot to battle each other? Have y'all discussed how you kind of race around each other, especially being on the same team?
No, there's kind of an understanding where we're not fighting each other.
Okay.
Whoever's faster at the time is just gonna go past. Team orders type of thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I wouldn't exactly call it team orders as much as just kind of having a sense of the best outcome for everyone involved. And like you said, there's always pace involved. There's kind of the situation that's coming at hand. I think turn 1 through 3 at Indianapolis kind of really showed that, where I was a little bit conservative going into the entry in turn 1 there because I didn't want to get too close up to him, but at the same time, I didn't want to sacrifice and get swallowed up by Jesse and Cliff behind me and let you get too far ahead. So, kind of my focus through the first few corners there was to stay with you. Don't let you get too much of an attack on Tyler. And then, on that same note, if I was going to catch up to him, I wasn't really going to put too much pressure on him either, so that we could just kind of build that gap up. And that's usually the strategy, just kind of whatever the situation calls for, is just kind of let that happen.
All right. That's a really good way to go about it. I mean, y'all have obviously done a really good job together leading the points, and all those points that y'all get go to the same place. So just really good job on how y'all have been doing in the series. Thank y'all again for your time in doing this.
No problem. Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Nick. Great finish. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. See y'all. Yeah, I probably will be talking to y'all next week, but we'll see if someone can shake that up. All right, that was our interview with the Carsons. They've been doing really good in the GT3 series. That was a really fun interview, really a good interview. I hope y'all enjoyed that. We're now going to move over to our ARCA winner interview, and that is with Lucas Martin in the number 57 for LA Motorsports. This is another really good interview, so hope y'all enjoy this one. Let's get right into it. All right, we're now with Lucas Martin, driver of the number 57 for LA Motorsports, the winner of our ARCA race. This was at Kansas, and there were 12 lead changes during the race. He led 2 laps with a 0.2 interval to win his first league race, and he qualified 6th in this one. And my first question for you is, what move did you pull to lead at the end on the most important lap?
So, after we're like 4 doors deep, slider on Lucas, and I come up in front of him for the slide job, and I thought he was just going to shoot to my inside and pass me, but he just hit me in the rear bumper and pushed me, and I was like, okay.
Ooh. So you got a little bit of
Yeah.
help.
Yeah, I expected him to shoot down and try to cross over, and he didn't.
Well, that's a pretty sweet deal that it worked out for you.
Yeah, I appreciated that.
What was your biggest challenge of the race? I feel like there was a moment I saw you have some trouble. How did you overcome that, and what exactly was that?
Our first green flag pit, I pitted, and it only took right sides, and I'm not sure why.
Oh.
When I come back out, it really wasn't that bad. It wasn't that much of a fall off, but I'm not too sure why it just took right sides, but it didn't hurt me that much.
Oh, so is that why you slowed down a little bit?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I stayed with them, but I was definitely slower.
Oh. And then how did you overall get that pass? Was it something the other drivers did, or you just had more than them?
With the for the win,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't expect that. The caution came out, and I was actually pretty mad because I was like, "Dang it, somebody behind me is going to have some more grip left, and they're going to pass me." But no, we went back green. Me and Kyle battled for about a lap, and then I got by him, and I was like, "Dang, this thing's still really fast." And I was kind of it blew my mind how it still had so much grip.
Before the race even started, before all the yellows, what was your pit strategy going into the race?
I've I was I was just pitting with Kyle in the 17. When they pitted, I pitted.
That was pretty smart.
Yeah.
I think I
And
did
every
that
time
as well for the first one, but the
yeah.
second one I said, let's be a little overconfident, go one lap early. Didn't work out for me. It worked out for y'all, so a
I
great
was
choice.
thinking about one lap early,
Yeah.
but then I was like, I'm just gonna wait one more lap.
Yeah, ultimately the right decision. How has
Yeah.
your season been throughout all the series, actually?
Well, it hadn't been going good. I think was our last race at Texas?
No, it was Sobo, South
Oh,
Boston.
I wasn't here for that
Then
one.
before that, I do believe it was Texas.
Yeah, I was running good during that one. Then some unfortunate things happened, and I wrecked it big.
Are you only with us in the ARCA series, or do you run anything else?
I'm sitting P5 in the next gen.
Okay, how's it been going for you there?
It's actually pretty. I'm pretty consistent there. My worst race was Las Vegas, and I didn't make it past lap 9.
What track do you think will see you in Victory Lane again? And which series first?
I would love to win at my closest track, Richmond,
Oh, and which car?
next gen. I'd
Okay.
love to win there.
Well, we'll be looking out for you there.
Yep,
What's one thing you think other drivers could learn from you?
and save them tires, I guess.
Okay,
I
is
think
that
that's what
something?
ultimately won that race for me.
Oh, really? How hard were you working throughout the race to save those tires?
Uh, Early, it was pretty. Like after the second green flag stop or the first green flag stop, I was going pretty hard after that.
What was your favorite line to run throughout this race? Were you high? Were you low? Were you a
Up
mix of
top,
everything? Okay, okay.
this track is kind of like Michigan. Like you can run the bottom, it'll get you in through the middle, but once you get out, your momentum's already gone, and they just roll around you on the top.
Oh, yeah, I really enjoy Michigan. Well,
Yeah,
congratulations again on the win. Thank you for your time and thanks for the interview.
I want to give a shout out to my
Okay, okay.
spotter Andy Ennis.
Oh, you
He
had a
wrecked
live
out
spotter.
early. He wrecked out early and watched me for the rest of the race. That really helped.
Oh,
And
very
then
good.
Jordan Barnes for motivation and crew chiefing a little bit. He tries to make his he tries to get his own strategy down, and we kind of went off that too.
Well,
I guess our strategy must have been pretty close to Kyle and them strategy.
congratulations to the whole LA team. Seems like this was
Yep.
a big deal for y'all.
I just wanted to get a team win at a track that's not a super speedway. I know this kind of worked like one. There was a lot of drafting and stuff, but it's an intermediate.
Well, congrats and thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Well, that is the end of this episode of Driver Interviews. I hope y'all enjoyed those and possibly learned something. I sure enjoy talking to these folks and appreciate the time that they take coming and talking to me so we can share this with all y'all. I'm looking forward to next week, seeing who we may interview for those wins. And be sure to join us Monday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, for our Cup Talladega race. That's going to be a really interesting one. It's a super speedway. You know, those are always entertaining. So come and join us, and we'll be there looking for you. See y'all next time. Thank you.